How did the song come about? How were you contacted?
Well, the agent made a drop somewhere in Hollywood and instructed our manager to pick it up in a phone booth. We picked it up. It was a message from Dr. Detroit. And we didn't know at the time that Dr. Detroit was Dan Aykroyd. And a few weeks later, we got a letter from Cliff Skridlow, a professor at University of Chicago. And that turned out to be Danny Aykroyd as well. And I suppose it's because we were doubly tricked that we appreciated that we had been done in, and because of that agreed to do 2 songs for the movie.
Well, you did 2 songs besides the...
We did 2 songs. The title track was scored for the opening sequence of the film, the titles and the opening sequence of Dan Aykroyd as Cliff Skridlow. And then we did another song, besides the theme from Dr. Detroit, called Love Love. And Love Love is used in a scene out on the town in Chicago, a night out in some sleazy bars with hookers and stuff.
Did Aykroyd, he wanted you to do this for the film?
We were told he did, and when he came here and visited with us, it seemed like that's the truth. Even though a few years ago, Dan Aykroyd actually prevented DeVoe from getting on network television. He told this story in an interview in Penthouse magazine. It's quite funny. He was in charge of the musical entertainment on Saturday Night Live in 1978 when we were trying to get on the show, and even before. And we had sent him a tape because we had been out in California in 1977 before we got a record deal and met Tony Basil. And Tony knew some people on the show because she'd been on the show with the Lockers. So through Tony, I sent a tape to, I thought I was sending it to Lorne Michaels, and so did Tony. It seems that it went directly to Dan Aykroyd. He viewed the tape, and it was of DeVoe performing Jocko Homo. It was our first videotape called The Truth About De-Evolution. And as he tells the story in Penthouse, he hated it. He said, "What is this shit? I can't believe this. We can't have this." And basically, you know, threw it in the 86 bin. And a year later, of course, we got on the show because we got a record deal with Warner Brothers and acquired management, Elliot Roberts, Lookout Management in Hollywood. And Elliot had a personal relationship with Lorne Michaels, and we got on the show. And so Danny, once he met us and saw us on the show, he liked it. That, you know, we had a party that night after the show, the production party, and we became friends with Danny. And he told that story because he felt strange on having thwarted our career for a year.
I never knew he was in charge of that kind of thing on Saturday Night Live.
That's the way he tells it in Penthouse. It's, I think it's true. Oftentimes members of the cast have say on the music, and we know that on SCTV, John Candy and Doug McKenzie had choice on who they got on the show in music.
So here you are now. He actually, you feel, pursued you for this?
Well, he just, the studio had asked Kool and the Gang, actually, to tell the truth, and we don't know what happened. They, for one reason or another, finked out on it. And when that happened late in the game, DeVoe was called in as scab labor to do the job, and it was Danny's doing.
Had you admired his work for you?
We always liked Dan Aykroyd. I mean, you know, I thought personally that he was the funniest person on Saturday Night Live. I always thought his sense of humor was way above everyone else's. From the first time I ever saw like the Bassomatic commercial or anything like that. I mean, I thought he had a more enduring sense of humor that was based less on slapstick and more on just a kind of, you know, ironic sensibility.
You had a very short time to write the song.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like? And not only
that was probably good for us.
Very short time to write it, but within the parameters of a
problem solving.
Yeah.
Problem solving, which we haven't done in a long time. We felt like we were in college, and they say, you know, pretend you did an ad for, you know, Fofolari shoes or Famolari or whatever it is. You know, where you have to solve a problem within some parameters where the directives comes down from on high. And, it, you know, it's slightly strange to begin with. But it was good that we didn't have much time because we just kind of got very DeVoe about it.
And you're pleased with the results?
Well, we think so. It's respectably silly.
And all this